company with thousands.
A new national Fox News poll is out. Donald Trump still maintaining a healthy lead. Trump has 25% support from GOP primary voters, followed by Ben Carson with 12%. Meantime, while still enjoying this lead, Donald Trump is finally getting specific about policy. Specifically, we're talking about immigration, and some of his ideas he's proposing there are certainly controversial. Joining us now is political analyst Brian Sobel. Brian, glad you're here with us.
Glad to be here.
So it sort of starts with ending the birthright citizenship, and we have a slide of his basic principles. We're going to talk about he wants to build that wall along the southern border.
Right.
He wants to make Mexico pay for it.
Yes.
And also any immigration plan, he says, must improve jobs, wages, and security for all Americans. Now that's in a nutshell. What's your take on this specific policy plan?
Well, first of all, there are 11 million undocumented people in the United States. That's a huge number of people that you're trying to deal with. The idea of building a wall all along the southern states just strikes, I think, experts as being not doable. So much of what he has in the plan just is far-fetched, but it appeals to a certain number of people who really want to hear these kinds of easy solutions to incredibly complex problems.
Well, wanting to hear these ideas and knowing if it's possible, it seems like two entirely different things. Another idea was to send all undocumented immigrants and their children back.
Well, yes, and when we're talking about millions of people, that suggests some huge roundup of human beings, and it just doesn't make any sense. How would you logistically send 11 million people back to their countries of origin? These are not very sensible policies, and why he came out with the policy that he did, which is multifaceted, was he was starting to be taken not very seriously, because everything he was saying, really appealed to radical people on the issue of illegal immigration. He decided he had to come out with a plan, but the plan is weak.
But okay, you say that, but do you feel like at least the Trump supporters and the people that want change will see this and say, well, if he's putting this out there, this might be a possibility, and we'll see his support grow even more?
I don't think so. I think he's maxed his support. We'll know soon, but as these other candidates on the GOP side start getting their messages out, I think people will see that Trump is really shooting from the lip oftentimes, throwing a hand grenade in the room and closing the door and seeing what comes out of it. And he's going to keep appealing to the same 20% of the people who carry these views that the world's taking advantage of the United States. The Mexicans are smarter than the United States. The Chinese are smarter than the United States. Most people don't buy that.
Are you surprised, though, that he is still leading? I mean, this new poll, I think, came out either today or this week, and 25%. The next closest guy is Ben Carson,
right,
who, what do we really know about him? He's at 12%. So even after the debate, which some say he lost, the critics will say he lost, he insulted, some say, Megyn Kelly, he's still leading.
Yep, and that's going to happen for a while. The field will become balanced after a while, but right now he has some of the same markings, frankly, as Ross Perot did in 1992, making very radical comments about things, simplifying things for people that don't believe that these are tough problems if people would just address them in Washington, D.C. and in California and Sacramento. It's just not that easy, and eventually people come to that conclusion when they start really getting serious about what the race is all about.
So you think it's still early?
It's way too early,
okay,
and it's a marathon, not a sprint, and so we've got a long way to go, and these other candidates will be heard from before this thing is over, and I think Trump will arc and he will fade at a certain point.
Okay, but we'll see. Next debate is next month.
Yes.
Just about a month away.
Right.
We will watch, and I'm also got my eye on Carly Fiorina to see if she gets in that top 10.
She will have a different place in this next debate.
Okay, Brian Sobel, thank you.
Good to see you, Kiba.
All right, over to you, Mike.
All right, thanks, Brian.